Welcome to the Packaging Etc. podcast, where we will discuss all things packaging and some things not. We will hear from professionals across all areas of the industry: design, engineering, manufacturing, and many more. We will learn about packaging trends, new technologies, and cutting-edge innovations. This podcast is all about showcasing our favorite parts of the industry, the people, and giving them a platform to share their stories and their knowledge of packaging. Let's take this journey together. And now, your host, Matt Mulvey.
Let's dive right in. Today, we'll be chatting with Jessica Lum, president of Diamond Wipes International, headquartered in Chino, California. Diamond Wipes is at the forefront of wet wipes manufacturing and packaging, and I personally cannot wait to learn more about the wet wipes packaging industry. With that, allow me to introduce Jessica Lum. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Glad to be on.
So, as I always start, if you wouldn't mind, please just take a minute and introduce yourself and give everyone a little bit of an opportunity to understand who you are and where you come from and your experiences in the industry, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, great. Well, I'm Jessica Lum. I got my bachelor's from the California Institute of Technology, a bachelor's, and then later on pursued my MBA from Duke University. I've been in the manufacturing industry for over 30 years now. Just really love being able to help produce something that you can touch and feel. Started off with Dexter Electronics as a chemist and quality, and then moved on to Intel, making their Pentium chips. Then later on moving to Henkel Electronics, doing semiconductor, then with Topline Texan in cosmetic packaging, and finally landing where I am right now with Diamond Wipes for wet wipes manufacturing. So it's always been in manufacturing, just different products, Matt.
Okay. And the Topline Texan, that was a joint venture with Charles Chang, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, with Charles Chang, yes. And that was very interesting, making all sorts of cosmetic packaging for a variety of very well-known brands.
Yeah. Yeah, Charles, I've known Charles for many years. He's always been a huge supporter of the Rutgers packaging program, so always great to run into him. So I was poking around on the Diamond Wipes website, but I would like you to, I guess, explain a little further about the origin story. I understand it has something to do with microwavable wet wipes.
Yes, you've done your homework, Matt.
A little bit.
So Diamond Wipes was started and founded by Eve Yan, an immigrant from Taiwan. She started with one wet wipes machine in a garage out of her house, and her concept was usually when you go eat at an Asian restaurant and they're serving seafood, lobster, and crab, your hands get dirty, and the restaurants would give you a little white roll-up hot towel for you to wipe your hands. And she thought it was, they're difficult to clean. It's a lot of laundering, so forth. So she came up with the disposable wet wipe version of it to sell. And she really just started, ground up, walking from restaurant to restaurant, offering her product. And she actually has a funny story that she shared with me, which I'd be happy to share with your
Please.
listeners. So in the restaurant, the original wet towel is rolled up. So she based her wet wipes like that. It was a rolled up wet wipe.
Okay.
And at her first trade show, she was trying to hand out samples. And people were passing by saying, no thanks, no thanks. Like they didn't want any samples. And Eve is like, what's going on? Like, how come people don't want my samples? Finally, somebody told her, Eve, we thought you were handing out tampons.
Okay.
So she
can
then
understand the
changed
hesitation.
it from a rolled up wet wipe to a flat version where you unfold it.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's how now her first product, what we call the Oshibori. So when you get a hand wipe now in the restaurants, it's flat. It's
Okay.
like a rectangular flat. It's not rolled up and looks like a tampon.
Gotcha. I wonder, I know I've gotten some of those heated wipes on airplanes. And I
Yes.
wonder, did the usage of that product come from Eve's invention for restaurants? Like, do we know which one came first?
Yeah, so the restaurant wipe came first.
Okay.
And then her second product that came out, which became widely adopted, is the makeup remover wipes that you see at hotels.
Okay.
Because as you know, when you're staying at a hotel, they offer fresh white towels, but women, the red lipstick, the black mascara, it can really mess up a white towel. So she started making and offering the disposable makeup remover wipes, which became very popular.
Okay.
And then soon as after that were shoe shine wipes, and then eventually wipes for airlines and all the other industries you see now.
Okay. And are all of these different products you just mentioned, are all of those part of the Diamond Wipes offering?
Yes, so we're proud to say that we actually manufacture over 3,000 different types of wet wipe SKUs,
Wow.
both here at our headquarter plant in Chino, California, and then also at our sister plant in Wisconsin.
Okay. So, and again, this is a technology I've never really worked with before, or an industry I've never really worked with before. So forgive me if I'm asking any rudimentary questions, but what kind of regulations do these products face? I would assume these are handled similar to like a topical skin cream or hand lotion. Would that be accurate?
So you are correct, and again, I'm happy to answer any questions. So usually our wet wipes will fall under two categories. One, which we classify as cosmetic, and the other one we classify as OTC or over the counter. So OTC is more regulated, and we are a facility approved and audited by the FDA. So cosmetic usually would be your like your baby wipes, your makeup remover wipes, body wipes, things of that nature, also shoe shine wipes or so forth. The OTC or more regulated wipes are those wipes that the customer is making a claim. So the wipes that will fall into that category would be, for example, like acne wipes, where they're saying it's used to treat acne, or hemorrhoid wipes, right, where it's used to treat hemorrhoid. So those with active medicinal ingredients, or even hand wipes where they're claiming it kills 99.9% of the germs on your hands, those are much more regulated than what we classify under the OTC.
Okay. And does that mean that there are also prescription wipes or just cosmetic and OTC?
Just cosmetic and OTC. Yeah, we currently, I don't believe there's any wipes on the market where you need a prescription for.
Okay. So no prescription strength wipes. Got it. So if you wouldn't mind, just kind of walk me through some of the different packaging platforms Diamond Wipes leverages for wipes packaging.
Sure. We make wipes in a variety of different formats. The first and most basic one would be a single individually wrapped wipe. And those are the ones you commonly see. As I mentioned, they hand out at the restaurants, at the airlines, at the hotels. It's for single use. Next, we have what we call a pouch or flat pack format, where it's a multi-count wipes ranging anywhere from 10 wipes up to as high as 80 wipes. And those would be, for example, your makeup remover wipes usually comes in accounts of 30, one for each day of use. Your baby wipes, which you use multiples of during a diaper change, might come in more counts of 50 to 60. Or, for example, your body wipes. So those are what we call the multi-count, where you have multiple wipes in a package. There's also the canister format. Those you commonly see in for example, auto wipes.
Okay.
Or the kitchen cleaning wipes or the disinfectant wipes. It's in a canister format, and the wipes are rolled up and inserted in a canister, and you pull from the top.
Yep.
And then we also have something a little newer, which we call in a jar. So it's a round wipe in a jar format, and usually your like acne wipes, or sometimes even the pet wipes for cleaning the ears or the teeth, come in what we call the jar format.
Okay. I was intimately familiar with the jar format in my teen years because I used the, I don't remember what brand, but I used
Drydex. Stridex acne
Stridex,
wipes?
that was it.
Yes,
Yep,
I
yep.
did too.
I used quite a few acne pads back in my day.
Well, your
Wipes, I
skin
should
looks
say.
great now.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, that's why I have the beard. I have the beard to cover all the marks. So it's interesting thinking about some of the brands that I've used, because originally coming into this conversation, my head was wrapped more around cosmetic wipes. And I completely forgot that there's the Clorox wipes and the Armorols and all the different non-cosmetic, if you will, but still, functional consumer product. And I've used the Armorall wipes in my car. I've used the Clorox wipes around the house extensively during COVID, obviously, compulsively wiping everything down. But I recall constantly struggling to keep the feed of those wipes in that center dispensing hole. And I was constantly having to lift the lid open to refeed the wipes through the cap. And I wonder if maybe that was just a lack of education on my part on how that's supposed to function, or if there's a way we can optimize that dispensing function, or I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, yes, it is actually a technical thing, even though it's just on a dispenser. The first one is the perforation of the wipe. It has to be perforated not too much, but not too little. So just the right amount that you're able to lift it up through the opening and be able to tear it easily. We've had challenges in the past before where if it's not perforated enough, you can't tear it apart, or if it's perforated too much, it comes apart as you're lifting it up, as you mentioned, and then you have to reopen the top to reinsert the treading. The second part is the opening itself. So it can't be too small or too big. If it's too small, then you're really, finding it challenging to pull and you might tear at it. If it's too big, it's not going to make that tear properly. So the opening itself is also designed so that it all works well as a unit. And I'm happy to say, at least our products, that's not one of common complaint for our canister products. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with my struggles are because the perfs were too aggressive and not a lack of understanding on my part, because then I would have to admit as a packaging professional, I didn't understand how the packaging was supposed to work. And I'm not quite ready to admit that yet. So I'm going to go with consumer complaint.
But you are right when you mentioned COVID. It was definitely a very challenging, but also, busy time for us. So yeah, we, unlike most of the companies that were shut down or people were, work from home or shelter at home, all the employees here still came to work every day. We were considered a critical essential manufacturer. We, at that time, felt it was our duty to prioritize wipes for the hospitals and medical centers first. And it was also very interesting because you mentioned cosmetics. So cosmetic wipes dropped by 90%. Because if you think about it, women were staying at home. They were on calls, maybe not with their video on. They weren't wearing makeup or lipstick. So makeup remover wipes dropped dramatically, but the sanitizing and disinfecting obviously rose tremendously. And the raw materials are completely different, right? The ingredients, formulation, type of usage that we would make a cosmetic wipe is completely different from one that is a harsher formula for sanitizing and disinfecting. So that was also interesting to manage as well.
Okay. From a materials of construction perspective, would it also be true to say that the material of the wipe itself varies significantly, or is it kind of a 3 or 4 different types of wipes out there, and it's just a matter of the ingredients in the slurry or the active, whatever you want to call it, the chemicals that you add to the pads are what create those 3,000 different SKUs, or is there just a wide variety of materials as well?
There is a wide variety of materials ranging from the component, especially recently, there's a more interest towards something that's sustainable or biodegradable type of wipe versus one that is not.
Okay.
And also the thickness or the GSM of the wipe is
Okay.
also important based on the type of formulation and usage. So there's literally many options for the type of substrate you want to use. And here at Diamond Wipes, what we really try to do is help a customer do the overall, what we call the spec. So
Hmm.
what do they want to go into the formulation? What kind of substrate do they want? What kind of packaging do they want? And help them take their idea from a concept all the way to a finished goods, commercialized product that they can sell to their customers.
Okay. Now, I understand that your research and development group has experienced significant growth recently. Anything in particular you attribute that to? Is that like an influx of new clients or new products or the aforementioned sustainability initiatives? What's driving that growth?
So that was a conscious decision on our company strategy because when I first joined Diamond Wipes, I heard a lot of, oh, we're competing against the China manufacturers and, cost of doing business and labor rates are much more expensive in the US, especially in California, and how we're going to, compete with that. And as I got to know the business more, I said, hold on. Our strategy shouldn't be to nickel and dime and produce something maybe at a penny cheaper here and there or compared to China. Our strength really is in being a world-class US-based manufacturer that will produce high-quality products with great customer service. And part of that service also includes helping our customers co-formulate. So some of our customers will come with their own proprietary formulation, but a lot of our customers actually come and ask us for help or recommendations on creating a formula. So in order to support that need, we've slowly doubled the size of our R&D team to help assist with that. So the customers really appreciate this ability of Diamond Wipes to do that because a lot of other companies don't. A lot of companies are just like, tell me what you want to make and we'll make it, not necessarily have that innovation and creation part for the formulation and the spec. And it's been a great strength for us to be seen as a value-added manufacturing partner for our customers, old and new.
It's interesting that you use the word partner because I've dealt with companies that are in the contract space, and I actually work for a contract manufacturer currently, and I've seen both sides of the spectrum. I've seen the companies that are there that just say, "Okay, send me your spec. Here's my price. Let me know if you want me to make it." Versus the true partnership that says, "Come on in and let's partner together, and let's optimize your package. Let's see what type of innovation we can deliver to differentiate your product from your contemporaries and really put you at the top of your specific market segment." And so, I latch onto that when I hear people use the word partner and partnership. It's usually kind of a green flag, if you will, for me, for the type of company that I prefer to do business with. So glad to hear that.
Yeah, and especially being a contract manufacturing, we're manufacturing. People don't know we're Diamond Wipes. We're manufacturing under a brand's name. So really, if we put out, for example, a poor quality product, that brand's reputation will get hurt. So it's very important for them that the quality is high, that their customers have a great user experience. And these days with reviews and TikTok and Instagram and all, it's compliments or criticisms are so easily spread now these days.
Yeah.
And you really don't want to have a negative image or bad quality associated with your brand. So we take that very seriously here.
I remember hearing a phrase where they said it took 10 years to build a positive reputation and 10 seconds to tear it down.
Very true.
And unfortunately, negative press travels far and wide much faster than positive. So, yeah, you have to be very careful there. So, in talking about how social media can literally make or break companies, have there been any scenarios? And again, maybe there have, and you're not willing to talk about it, but just I figure I'll throw it out there anyway. Any major packaging faux pas that have come to mind, like any projects you've worked on that you thought were going to be, the bee's knees, and just became a total flop? Anything that?
So in our line of business, we really either celebrate successes with our customers or, sometimes a customer launch may not go as well as they hoped, and we don't get reorders for them. So their success is our success, and their not so success, I don't want to call it failure, is also impacts us. We do what we can in terms of making quality product, making sure it's on time, delivering that service to them, helping them with their launch. But ultimately, it's our customers are the ones that will do the marketing, do the promotion, decide what are their channels of selling, whether it's online presence or physically in the stores. So I would say we're very it's a codependency, right? So they rely on us to deliver high quality products on time, and then we deliver it. We hope that they will market and be successful and sell, so we can get reorders.
Okay, makes sense. I would also like to ask you about a defining moment in your career. What's a scenario where you were able to take an impossible task and make it possible?
Yes, an example do come in mind. It was probably a few years ago, three years ago. We had a very large pharmaceutical company come to us because they were having quality issues with their other manufacturer that they've worked with for many years. And to be transparent, Diamond Wipes isn't as large as the other manufacturer. So when this company came to us, they had very high requirements, very high volume, needed a lot of support. And after the first meeting, we regrouped internally, and a lot of my management team said, Jessica, they're too big for us. Like, they want so much volume and such high standards, and we've never worked with a company, of this caliber before. And I had a heart-to-heart talk with the team. I said, unless we like stretch ourselves, we're never going to grow. We're never going to move to that next level. We just keep on taking customers that we're comfortable with and stay with the status quo. We're never going to improve ourselves as a company and also for our capabilities. So I actually volunteered to be the project leader for this, and said, look, if we succeed, we celebrate as a team. If we fail, I'll take the blame, right? So that relieves the pressure off of them. And I have to say, it was probably one of our best success stories where we onboarded them on time. We staffed according to their needs. We met all their criteria, and to the point where after the launch was successful, they even threw our team a pizza party, and we never had a customer do that. So and our team was very proud. The manager's like, "Oh yeah, we did it," and they grew to be our largest customer, and it was just everybody's hard work and believe that we could do it. So versus shying away from the unknown and playing it safe and telling them go find another manufacturer.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's a great example of being presented with a challenge that quote unquote impossible task, and saying, you know what? No, this is possible, and I see a way through this. I see a way to deliver, and not only delivering on that project, but like you said, you were able to bring in your largest client, and that's a huge success story. So that's great.
Thank you.
So if you weren't at Diamond Wipes, what would you want to do? What was your dream job when you were a kid?
Well, as a kid, I loved animals. I'm that one that would go catch like little minnows in the pond or try to adopt a stray dog or stray cats, and just always loved animals. And part of going to Caltech, I originally studied biology and with the goal to become a vet. And then, life happened, my dad got sick, so I decided to not pursue vet school. I moved back home to take care of him and just start working, making money to support my parents. But I'm one for everything happens for a reason. I'm very happy with where I am now, being here at Diamond Wipes, but to have personal satisfaction with my animal loving part, I'm actually the Girl Scout troop leader for my daughter's Girl Scout troop.
Okay.
And for their Silver Award project, they decided, with my support, to help a nonprofit dog rescue. And the dog rescue, the timing was around post-COVID. So they had an influx of these pandemic pets.
Yeah, the
symptom
COVID
where,
dogs. Yeah.
yeah, where people who were working at home adopted dogs, and then when they had to go back to work, they just sent them to the shelter, which
Yeah.
I don't know how you can do that because a lot of people see their pets as their kids.
Yeah.
And if you're bonding over that 1 to 2 years during COVID, how can you just like give your dog a walk away?
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah, but while it was very sad to see all these homeless dogs, but it was always also very rewarding because there was a lot of kind-hearted volunteers that would spend their time. We did adoption events. My Girl Scout troop, we did bake sales to raise money to help buy dog food and dog supplies. And people that care, we pitched in, and we always celebrated when a dog got adopted and found a loving home to go to. So adopting a sheltered dog is also on my list when I do retire and
Yeah.
have more time. Yeah.
So this is a common theme that has come up in previous episodes with other guests that I've interviewed. And I've said this on other episodes as well. My wife and I, one of our options, if you will, for retirement, post-retirement would be to sell the house that we live in now in New Jersey. Maybe still buy in New Jersey, not sure about that, but we would go with half the house and maybe 10 times the land and open up a dog rescue.
Okay.
We absolutely love dogs. We have two of our own. We treat them better than our kids. I'll be totally honest with you. And it just, if we could have all the dogs, we absolutely would. A friend of mine I interviewed in season 1, she lives in the Southeast, and she talked about doing the same thing. And so we were agreeing that we would divide up the country. She'd have the South, I'd have the Northeast. You'll have the West Coast covered. No homeless dogs. That's the goal. So no, it's nice to hear that a lot of people share that same sentiment.
Yeah. And by the way, we do also make pet wipes, including dog wipes. So I'll give you some the next time I see you.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yes, that is actually pet wipes to, wipe the paws after you take them for a walk before you bring them inside, or for the teeth or the ears. Yeah. We make wipes. Yeah.
I'm sure my wife knows about all this stuff. And for all I know, we have that stuff in the house already. And I just, I know nothing about it. She handles all that side of it. So you mentioned Silver Award for Girl Scouts. So, I went through Boy Scouts, and so I'm intimately familiar with that organization and how you rank up. And I got my Eagle Scout. I'm not as familiar with the Girl Scout side. So can you explain to me where Silver Award falls in the rank of things in the progression of Girl Scouts?
Sure. It actually falls in the middle. So usually when they're in like the junior high stage, they will work on what we call the Bronze Award.
Okay.
And then early high school, they move up to the Silver Award. And then ultimately in their junior and senior year of high school, they should be working on the Gold Award.
Okay.
So the Gold Award is the top of the scale. So the girls are, now that they finished their Silver Award, they're brainstorming for the Gold Award.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, thank you for explaining. I would have had to Google it after we were done with this episode because I'm just not that familiar. I know brownies and I know buying cookies.
Yes, everybody associates Girl Scouts with cookies, but they are more than that. They do try to do good in the world and help nonprofits.
Okay. No, I 100%. I'm aware that I just, I don't know. I'm like your typical person. I hear Girl Scouts, I think cookies. It's not a bad connotation. I don't think it's a bad connotation.
Yeah, I do too.
Actually,
Everybody loves the Girl Scout cookies.
yeah. What's your favorite?
Probably the Samoas or Caramel Delights because
Yeah.
it has the coconut and the caramel and the chocolate. Yeah. I
My
know Thin Mints are always by far the most popular.
They are definitely the most popular, and I'll always get a box or two, and they go right in the freezer.
What's your favorite?
My favorite are lemonades.
Oh,
I like
okay,
the lemon cookies, but I'll use the Thin Mints. I'll little cheat code. I'll take a small teaspoon of ice cream out of a half gallon of ice cream, and I'll smear it
okay.
on a frozen Thin Mint, and then I'll take the other Thin Mint and I'll make a mini chipwich out of it,
Oh,
and then it's a little mini ice cream sandwich, and it's like it's just enough to satisfy the sweet tooth without having a whole serving of ice cream. It's just enough.
that's actually a pretty good idea. I have to try that next time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's like a bite-sized ice cream
yeah.
sandwich.
I need to patent it and market it. So it's my idea. I said it first.
Yeah, you're on air.
Yeah. So we're getting up close to the end of it, but before we sign off, was there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
No, it's been great talking to you, Matt, about the wet wipes industry, about Diamond Wipes, our capabilities, our commitment to quality and servicing our customers. I do want to share that I think one thing that also makes Diamond Wipes stand out is during COVID, we started what we call a happiness committee because a lot of people were coming to work, they were stressed out, they were worrying about catching COVID before the vaccines came out. And so now we have about a dozen group of volunteer employees that make up the happiness committee, and they will, put together like the Halloween costume contest, right, in October, or certain employee dress up days like May 4th, right? Wear your favorite Star Wars costume.
Yep.
But also they do good. So we did, for example, last month, 2 toy drives, one for the disabled American veterans and one for the Children's Hospital for the children in recovering their burn unit, as well as food drives. So for us, it's just not all about work and making wipes. It's also what can we do for others in need because there is so much need out there. We also get a lot of requests for wipes donation, so we donate a lot of wipes, whether it's to homeless shelters or to schools, churches. We do a lot of that too. So that is something I'm very proud that Diamond Wipes do for the greater good.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. So before we cut to the end, just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate your time today. Wish you the best of luck with Diamond Wipes. I hope next time we talk, you've doubled your R&D group again and talking about the newest challenges and the impossible tasks that you've made possible. But with that, we are going to sign off. Thank you everyone for listening in. If you wouldn't mind, please hit that like and subscribe button. Send me a note. Feel free to reach out if you have any suggestions on future topics or future guests. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, everyone. Jessica, again, thank you, and take care.
Thanks, Matt. Great talking to you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Packaging Etc. podcast. We hope you enjoyed the content and maybe learned something new. If you have ideas for future guests or topics, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to send a connection request on LinkedIn or visit www.precisionengsolutions.com and use the contact form. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you'll join us once more on the next episode of the Packaging Etc. podcast. Until then,